Right, hello, g'day folks. Now today in this video, I've got something new on the channel, and this is a Le Creuset 3-Ply stainless steel 18cm saucepan. Now with Le Creuset, as we all know, their signature product is their cast iron pots, especially the enamel cast iron Dutch ovens. So they can be considered the gold standard, along with stove. But when it comes to stainless steel, I feel like they still have some work to do if they really want to be seen on the same level as brands like De Meyer. And that's both in terms of their marketing and the actual product itself. But having said that, I think this 3-ply stainless product line is actually a good product. It's quite expensive for what it is. But otherwise, I do quite like it. We'll talk about that later in this video. So what I will say is that because Le Creuset is so well known for their cast iron products, which is obviously great for that product line, but at the same time, it does seem to divert the consumer's attention away from their other products like stainless steel. So a lot of people, they don't even know that Le Creuset does stainless steel. And, when people are thinking about buying stainless steel cookware, this is not the first brand, or Le Creuset is typically not the first brand that comes to people's minds. Okay, so let's have a look at this pan. So everything that I'm going to say here for this pan will pretty much apply to all of the vertical sided pots and pans from this series. And that's just because they are all built the same way. Okay, so actually let's have a quick look at the Le Creuset product lines for stainless steel. So they have two stainless steel product lines. First is this 3-ply, which looks like this. They don't have a special name for it. They just call it 3-ply stainless. And this product line, based on my research, is made in China. And overall, like I said, I'm quite impressed with the quality and the features of this pan. I will talk about that shortly. Now, the other product line, stainless product line, is called the Signature Series. That's, from my research, is made in Portugal. Now, I don't have one here with me physically, but here's a picture. Now, as you can see, this product line, it clearly follows the design language of their signature Dutch ovens with the concentric circles on the lid. Now, it is the more premium of the two stainless steel lines, but the price difference is very small. So if you look at two pieces of the same size and the same type, one from this standard 3-ply product line and the other one from the Signature, the Signature is only about 5 to 10% more expensive than the standard 3-ply. Now, to be honest, I'm not very impressed with the Signature product line. Now, a while back, I was at a department store here in Auckland, and I had a look at the Signature pot. Now, my impression was not that great. So firstly, on the Signature pots, the surface is very shiny. I don't know how they do it, but it is by far the shiniest surface I've seen on any pot or pan. But that's kind of the only thing that was cool about it. Otherwise, I thought the Signature pan was quite underwhelming. The lid was very thin. It felt quite cheap. The pan itself, it felt quite thin. The handles felt kind of thin and cheap. So I certainly didn't feel that it was worth the price tag that they were charging, and certainly not up to the quality of, say, the top De Meyer product line, for example. So if I compare the standard 3-ply line and the Signature line, I would actually much rather get this, okay? So anyway, let's have a look at this pan. So first of all, let's take a close-up look. Now, first thing I'm going to say is that Le Creuset feels the need to constantly remind you that this is a Le Creuset, and I'll show you what I mean. So you got Le Creuset here on the lid, and second time, Le Creuset on the helper handle. And third time, you got Le Creuset at the base of the handle. And finally, you got Le Creuset once again at the bottom here. So in this fairly small pot, you are reminded that it is a Le Creuset a total of 4 times, okay? I have not seen that on any other pan. But otherwise, this is a nice pan. So the lid feels okay. It doesn't feel as premium as the De Meyer Atlantis, for example, but it still feels quite good. You get a nice, comfortable handle. So it's a hollow stainless handle, but it's quite nice, comfortable, very functional. you get a helper handle. Now, I really do like that because, you know, on pots of this size, you typically don't get a helper handle. So Le Creuset has been kind enough to give us a helper handle. And another thing that I like about it is you get sealed edges. You know, you don't even see this on some more premium products, and it's very nice that Le Creuset actually gives you sealed edges on this pan. And also you've got this this kind of shiny metal strip. Now it does look cool, but yeah, I'm not sure about that. I don't know if in the long term if there's any possibility of this metal strip separating, because there's clearly a joint here. And you have capacity markings on the inside. Now this is they advertise it as a 2.8 liter pan, but there's no way you can realistically fit 2.8 liters. So 2.8 liters in this pan. So you see how close the 2.5 liter marking is? It's almost right up to the top. So I really don't see how you can fit 2.8 liters in this pan. And of course, you got the rivets on this side, and you got the rivets on this side. So let's have a look at the bottom. And yeah, like typical Le Creuset with all the, so it says 2.8 liters here, but it's really not 2.8 liters, and 18 centimeters here. Yeah, so I gotta say, for a small pan, for a small saucepan, this actually offers you quite a lot. You know, quite a lot of features compared to other premium saucepans in this size. Okay, now let's have a quick look at the specifications. Official size 18 centimeters. Official volume 2.8 liters, but like I just said, there's no way you can fit 2.8 liters in here. Realistically, you're looking at 2.5. The weight is 1.25 kgs without the lid. The thickness, I was not able to find anything that on the internet that says how thick this pen is, but I'm estimating same as All-Clad. It's something like that. It's 2.6 or 2.7 millimeters. Let's say around 2.6, just from the feel of it. The top diameter is 20 centimeters. The bottom diameter is 16 centimeters, and you got a height of 11.5 centimeters. All right, so what about the pricing? European prices almost exactly 200 euros. Here in New Zealand, official retail 330 New Zealand dollars, which is about 180 euros. So that's actually cheaper than Europe. Last week, maybe the sale was still on, but last week there was a sale, and this piece was on sale for 230 New Zealand dollars, which is 130 euros approximately. And that's a screaming deal, okay? So at that price, I would buy it straight away. Yeah, I gotta say, for some surprising reason, Le Creuset is very well represented here in New Zealand for a small country so far away from, you know, where the brand originates. There are quite a lot of shops selling these things, so that's nice to see. And when they do have a sale, you can get them at very reasonable prices. So that's a good thing. Okay, so what do I like about this pen? Well, I think I've already kind of mentioned. I like the fact that it has a helper handle. Again, like I said, not many saucepans in this size gives you that. It's got, once again, it's got sealed edges. And once again, not many products have sealed edges. You get a decent volume for 18 centimeter pen, so not quite the 2.8 as advertised, but still fairly decent. I like the fact that it's got, once again, it's got capacity markings on the inside. And overall, you know, I also like the fact that it's got a good utilitarian design. Okay, so this is it's a very functional pen. It's not extremely fancy, but it's very functional. Now, what I dislike about the pen, the first thing is the normal retail price, especially in Europe, is too high for what it is. I think for 200 euros, you can definitely do better in terms of, you know, quality and craftsmanship than what you get here. I mean, this is still very good, you know, don't get me wrong, it's still very good. I just don't quite think it's worth the 200 euro price tag. And second thing is, I don't like how they advertise this as 2.8 liters. If you cannot realistically fit 2.8 liters, then you shouldn't advertise it as 2.8 liters. And the last thing is just a very tiny nitpicky thing. The handle, don't you think it's a little bit ugly? I mean, it's a very nice functional handle. I just think it looks a bit too wide or too fat, for the lack of a better word, for this pan. But that's, of course, just my own personal opinion. So one more thing I want to talk about is actually, do you actually need a high-end, expensive saucepan? And the answer is sometimes not. You know, officially these are called saucepans. That's their official name. But to me, it's just a small pot, okay? To me, all it is just a small pot for doing small things, like boiling a cup of eggs or making a bit of pasta sauce or things like that. And if all you're going to do in a small pot like this is simple stuff like boiling eggs or boiling a bit of pasta or, I don't know, making a very simple soup, then really you don't need an expensive saucepan. And I'll give you a perfect example. You see this very cheap saucepan here. You know, my mother has used this for at least 15 years. It's very thinly built. It's just got a thin bottom, and this has had very regular use for the last 15 years, and it works perfectly fine. Okay, so if all you're gonna do is very simple things, just like boiling water, then you know you can buy something cheap and it'll work. It'll be just fine. But if you're gonna do something a bit more, you know, complicated, like sauteing or searing or making sauces, then it's probably worth it getting a higher end saucepan like this or something else. Okay. So finally, should you buy this pan? Well, I wouldn't buy the signature range like I just the one that's made in Portugal, like I said at the beginning of this video. I just don't think it's enough value for money for what for the price. But for this 3-ply standard product line that's made in China, I would get it if I can get it at a good discount. So let's say at least 20% of the retail price. Like the prices they had in New Zealand last week, or maybe even still now as I speak, I would get it straight away for that price. I mean, it's a better product than the signature line. I just don't think it's worth the full retail price, but it's still a good product. Okay, so that's, hope you enjoy the look at this pan, and I'll see you in the next video.